Okay, folks, you see the title. Now, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to play this. Of course, you know, you got to stop it a couple of times. Well, I got to intervene anyway because I got to throw my 20 cents in. I brought 18 more cents than necessary just in case. If anybody been here, for you that's been here prior to this new channel, that know me prior to this channel, y'all know how I feel about this Charlemagne, his mindset. He's free to think and say what he want in most circumstances, but you know how I am about Side Road Joe. I made videos of him that's from 30 years ago, things that I remember, because you have to remember I'm an old dude. He's nothing new to me. But let's go ahead and go through this and I'll get it out of the way. Oh, again, please, my emoji gang, hit me up. If you give me a regular comment. I prefer a regular comment, but I'll take an emoji or two. I sure will, because it all count. Let me know that you're out there and I'm not talking to the wind. Ideology trumps race. Always have. Well, it has for a long time. And that probably will never change. No matter what he said. Okay, yeah, he talked smack about Hillary having hot sauce in her purse, blah, 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 skippity, blah. When it came down for him to vote between her and the Donald, he voted for her. He's going to talk smack about Side Road Joe in here. If it come down to Side Road Joe, if Pete Buttigieg don't, something happens or whatever the heck, and for some odd reason the Democrat Party still pushes Side Road Joe up there with all the smack he talking, no matter who's on the other side with a R, he's gonna pull that blue lever or push that blue button. They all do. I know these people. I've talked to these people over decades, and no matter what they say, more often than not, they're 9 times out of 10, they're gonna fall in line at the end, come up with something to justify what they do. But the only thing I just say, you can save all the filler and whatnot. Ideology trumps race. It really is just that simple. It really is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get this going. All right. Well, let me go ahead and shrink myself some, all in the way and everything. What's wrong with you, boy? Okay, let me make myself real. Yeah, let me just hide over here in this corner. Over what's her name? What's his woman name? Anyway, let's go ahead and go, folks. Let's go.
Sylvia's restaurant with Reverend Al Sharpton. Now, it was an important day for Buttigieg because he's acknowledged that he needs.
Now, if y'all remember, this is what Al Sharpton does. The CIA snitch, the trafficker of illegal white substances in Chicago that got peddled out to the people that he claimed he loved. The person that laid claim against the Duke lacrosse team and turned out and never came back and said, my bad. So, but anyway, this is the media circus. He will, I guess, I don't know how much you got to pay, but he'll prop you up at that window for the media circus to record you sitting there at a black soul food cuisine restaurant with hot sauce on the table, eating fried chicken and collard greens and whatever the heck, selling the white man to black America via the media. It's always on the left, though. They ain't had no problem with that. Want to know why they don't have a problem with that, y'all? Ask me why they don't have a problem with that. Because ideology trumps race. It really is just that simple. Let's go.
More diversity on his list of supporters. Among the topics that came up, his new competitor.
How does Biden change the race?
In a way, in one way, we've got a lot in common, right? I mean, he speaks to kind of middle of the country. In another way, the contrast couldn't be more different, right? I mean, we're talking about generational change. We're talking about how there's no going back. How we're going to come up with something that'll work for the next 40 years.
Out front now, radio host who has interviewed 8 and counting Democrats running for president, Charlemagne the God, is of the Breakfast Club, joins me now.
What's up, Aaron? Thank you for having me again.
Good to see you. All right, so last time we...
Fun fact, when he picked that stage name, he admitted that he had no idea who Charlemagne was. It just sounded cool, I guess. His words, not mine.
Together, you were talking about, your impression of the various candidates. And you said Buttigieg was the most comfortable and authentic, those were the words you used, person that you had interviewed thus far.
Yes.
His communications director, Liz Smith, tweeted today a picture of him and Reverend Al Sharpton. So what do you make of this? Is this authentic or is this...
It's showmanship. It's a circus. Hello?
Just... I need to go kiss the ring. What is this?
I think it's authentic, and I think it's a combination of both. You know what I'm saying? Going to sit with, Reverend Al and Sylvia's is a rite of passage for a lot of candidates. He's only the second candidate of this season so far to go sit with Reverend Al. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think he is kissing the ring, and rightfully so. He was actually at the National Action Network convention the same day I was there with Reverend Al as well. So He's reaching out to the black community, as he should. So why not reach out? So
when Buttigieg was on your show, you talked about...
Which makes no sense to me, because no matter what you do, you've never done anything that you ran on and that you've sold to black America. They can't sell me nothing because I filter both sides. But one side, it's like, okay, this side, you got 2 diseases here. Now, this one is and it got strep, cholera, and this. Okay. And this one, yeah, it got that and that. Well, I don't want neither, but the one I'm definitely going to keep away from, the one that's the only thing it needs is a coffin to put you in. It's just got so much crap to it. But anyway, they don't have to do anything. They're going to get at least 90% of your vote, 85, 90 for doing absolutely nothing. And if you think they don't know that, well, I got some beachfront property in Nebraska I'd like to sell you dirt cheap.
A lot of things. Obviously, race issues was on the list. You also talked about, ChickfilA, in light of him. Here is some of the headlines that you got.
Did Barack Obama set the table for someone like you?
I think so. I think in a way, if only because people said, this can't be done. Not just because he was our first black president, but...
Well, exactly that reason.
Well, according to the Congressional Black Caucus, Bill Clinton was the first black president. And they said, well, the closest thing to a black president we'll ever have. Bill Clinton was, so I don't know. Y'all might want to have to check with old Dirty Bill before you throw that one out there. He may take issue with that. Why did I make my thing green with the orange background? I need to change that color, that lime green. I'll get it straight for the next video.
But also because he was unafraid to be smart.
What about Chick-fil-A? You like Chick-fil-A?
I do not.
I have no idea what the deal is with Chick-fil-A. I don't. So I ain't even gonna fake like I do, because I don't. If something happened with Chick-fil-A, I don't know nothing about it. So somebody, if y'all know, drop me a comment. Let me know what the Chick-fil-A deal is.
I don't approve of their politics, but I kind of approve of their chicken.
God damn it. You my kind of guy, man. I'm worried about Memphis Diet, because even today at Sylvia's, he had fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and collard greens. I know he's a young man, but...
Okay, will they sell it there? Al took him there. What he, and eat it in moderation. I mean, don't eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, okay, well, why didn't he take them to one of them lighten the loafers places? This is parfait, and this is a salad with oil and garlic. Why don't you go to one of them? Get the pesto on. Now, I do love pesto. I do on that garlic bread. That I love pesto. That and my black tea.
Yeah, but god dang, diabetes can catch us all.
So do you think that the glare of
Diabetes is a horrible thing, all BS aside.
the spotlight, I mean, this is all very new to him, and obviously he's coming, your words, authentic. He comes off that way. But is there a risk, do you think, of that changing?
Nah, I think he's handling it with grace and class. Like, he looks built for the spotlight. Like, even though he's from a small place, South Bend, Indiana, it looks like he's ready for the big stage. Like, even if he doesn't become, president in 2020, you can see that he's going to have a bright future.
Well, Side Road Joe is from Delaware. I mean, so what?
In politics in some way, shape, or form.
So as you were being light there, you were talking about age, and obviously
Yes.
Buttigieg.
And don't forget about Bill Clinton. Where he from? You know where Bill Clinton's from? Do you know that Bill Clinton is still the chairman of the J. William Fulbright Association to this day? Who's J. William Fulbright? Look it up.
Just talking about Joe Biden, changing the race in that bite I played with Reverend Al Sharpton. He, though, is talking about their age difference, right? Trying to make this as a point of a generational change. Joe Biden is a different generation.
Very,
right? I mean, let's just be frank. Joe Biden is what, going to be 77 years old this year. Does age matter?
Yes, I do think age matters. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're dealing with somebody like Joe Biden, because, I got my questions about Joe Biden. Like, after learning more about Joe over the past few months, I question why even Barack Obama picked him as vice.
See, this is how he try to cleanse his palate, to clean his hands. I'm going to throw him under the bus after the fact. After he sat here on stage and said straight that if you have a problem on whether you vote for me or Trump, then you ain't black. He said that. Well, I can't say to your face because it was remote location, like a podcast kind of, remote podcast kind of thing due to the COOF pandemic lockdown. But
president, just because of things like the 94 crime bill. And, he didn't just, vote on the 94 crime bill. He wrote the 94 crime bill, especially one of the passages that was a real big push, for mass incarceration, just.
If you guys think that he didn't know that, okay, here's one of two ways I'm going to paint you. See, this is how I paint you in the corner. We've been knowing this since the time it actually happened. That he and Hillary, the Wicked Witch of the East, that they penned it and sent it up the bill. Well, I don't know if this is a good idea. Well, come on, man. Okay, well, I'll sign the damn thing. Okay, well, all right. I'll read it later. Here, give it here. So you trying to say that here's only one or two ways to go. You knew already, but you still interviewed him and you still let him say what he said and all the stuff he said and whatnot. And you blind-eyed it because that's what you loyalist Democrats do. Or you're telling us that you're not that smart. And even though you're on one of the biggest radio programs in the United States, that you couldn't spend time or have somebody on your staff look up this guy's history before you, because I'm telling you, none of this stuff is a secret. We all knew. So which one is it? You knew when you blind-eyed it? Or, you knew when you deaf-eared it? Or you didn't know and you blind-eyed it? So you went in blind. So were you blind or deaf? Were you deaf then or blind now? Pick one. Pick one.
Things he said, like Barack Obama is the first mainstream black person who was clean and articulate. Like, just that.
Yeah, he didn't know that before he got up there. Notice he didn't bring it up then. He only bring it up after Joe then messed it up way worse than what they thought he was. This is how they play.
Wording, disturbs me.
But it's CNN. He know he won't get any pushback. He can't go nowhere else. Well, you can go to MSNBC with this. You can't go much anywhere else because somebody going to give you a little nudge.
In a lot of ways, So I just wonder if somebody that's Joe Biden's age, can you really teach an old dog new tricks?
And yet when he came out, Charlemagne, and announces his candidacy, he makes it all about race. I mean, right? All about Charlottesville, all about race. I'll play a brief clip of it so we can hear it together. Here he is.
Very fine people on both sides. With those words, the President of the United States assigned a moral equivalence between those spreading hate and those with the courage to stand against it. And in that moment, I knew the threat to this nation was unlike any I had ever seen in my lifetime.
What do you make of that choice, given your concerns?
That's not enough for me. Like, not being racist should be the basics of our president. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are your policies? You know what I'm saying? What are your new initiatives? What are you putting on the table that's going to help us, move forward in the next 30, 40 years as a country? That's why I prefer a Mayor Pete over a Joe Biden, because I feel like Mayor Pete does have things of substance that he's put on the table. He does have actual ideas. I haven't heard any new policies from Joe Biden thus far.
Well, it's dream selling season, right? And as you point out, people have identified the black vote. It's so crucial, right? It's so crucial. It's so central. So this reparations issue comes right in the heart of that. They've all been asked about it. You've asked, candidate after candidate about it. Let me play just some of their answers.
Now, why does it seem like this week you've been kind of dodging the reparations question?
To my mind, it means that we have to deal with the fact that there is enormous disparity between the black community and the white community. And that issue has got to be addressed.
The idea of reparations is the idea when something is broken, we fix it. When there's a wrong, we right it. Where it goes off the rails, like you're saying, is, people are picturing kind of check in the mail. And when it's framed that way, there's a lot of people who can't picture how that could be done in a way that's fair.
A lot of those socioeconomic gaps were created.
I know who this guy is. I've actually stood about 10 feet at the most away from this guy a couple of times, because y'all know I used to live in San Antonio and I was part of that. I was a cog in that campaigning machine, if you will. But that was some years ago. I know who he is and his twin. I know they don't. I mean, when I say no, I mean like we ain't trading emails and tweets, but I know who this guy is. He's not foreign to me. He's not new to me, him or his brother.
Because of slavery, like they're still affecting us to this day.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced that we're ever going to fully come together as one nation, like heal, until.
Forget the fact that a whole bunch of American blacks have no lineage, have no blood in slavery. But, gee, ask me how I know.
We address that original sin.
That's it. I mean, that's what it's about. Like people think this reparations thing is about handing out checks. It's just about America acknowledging the fact that systemically they did something to put black people in very bad positions. So now they need to do something systemic.
Now that part is true. That is true. But I'm not going to get into that. But technically that little sample right there, he's factually correct with that little sample right there, factually.
To get us out of those positions. It's really not rocket science.
Do you trust all the Democratic candidates on their answer? Because this has become a litmus test this time, right?
Yeah.
And they're all
Yes, he do. It don't matter. He's going to pick one.
all going to try to say something positive about reparations.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that any of them are going to do it.
Yeah, I don't trust any politician right now because it's dream selling season. Like every single politician is telling the American people what it is that they want to hear. And when they're sitting down with certain people, they're going to speak directly to those certain people and tell those people what they want to hear. So if reparations is the thing that they want to hear, and all you have to do is simply say, yes, I agree with it, I'm for it, I'm down to fix it, you'd be a fool to mess that question up. You'd be a fool to flub it.
All right. Charlemagne, thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
to see
Aaron.
you.
Thank you for having me again.
Well, I mean, folks, I don't know what to tell you. Well, I do, but I can't tell you anything. I'm just a guy behind a microphone that the filter on it changes between 3 different colors depend on, so I can contrast against my shirt. I got a grayish, a silverish gray one coming. I'm waiting on that, but they come all the way from overseas. No one in North America makes all these colored, well, I can't reach the other one over there, make all these colored pop filters. You think that would, I don't get it. But anyway, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Y'all know what I think. Like I say, now to the new folks, hey, welcome aboard. Welcome to the fold. But the folks that's been with me for a while, they already know where I stand. And but anyway, that's it. I appreciate you. Leave your comments below. Suggestions, comments, share, subscribe, give me an emoji. Y'all be good and be safe. Bye.